prayer to the Spiritual Master, and we'll get going. So happy to have you, Tejas Prabhu, here today. And
thank you, Mataji.
Hari Bol. So, Tejas, while we are waiting for things to settle up, do other Matajis, you want to introduce yourself to, and for Tejas Prabhu, you also? Vachana,
Yeah.
We can start with you, maybe. Have I muted everybody? Varshana, I'm not able to hear you. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying that we have Tejas Prabhu joining us today. And so I just wanted to do a quick round of introduction while I'm settling with the broadcast and all that. You want to tell him about yourself? Or maybe Suruchi can go in while you're busy.
Yes, Hare Krishna. I'm Suruchi. I'm here at San Diego, and Sunday morning Gita class. Sanskrit pronunciation is something I look forward to every week. Thank you, Mataji, for hosting this class for us.
Oh, wow. Thank you for joining us. She has been a very consistent participant, Prabhu. And I don't know, almost looks like 10 years now that we have known each other. But that's good. Okay, Varshana Mataji, you want to go next?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, welcome to the class. And as Suruchi mentioned, that we have a Sanskrit pronunciation, and it is really doing good to us. We are understanding how to pronounce correctly and recite them nicely. So really thanks to Shraddha Mataji, who has thought of this and started it. I'm Shraddha-devi Dasi, and I'm from India. I'm staying in Pune, Prabhuji. Whenever you come to India, you are most welcome to come and visit us. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank you, Mataji.
All right, Tejas Prabhu.
Yeah, so I have known Shraddha Mataji for not a very long time, but I have seen him for a very long time, and I have seen her. I'm always.
This is about introducing yourself, not about introducing me.
No, I have always respected her quite a bit. So today I saw the Zoom link pop-up came up, and it was only 30 minutes. So I said, oh, I'm very lazy. It's just only 30 minutes Srimad Bhagavatam class. Why should I miss? So I just came. I have been I got introduced to ISKCON almost 20 years back. I haven't made much progress, but at least I'm trying my best to learn whatever I can from others, actually, specifically Vaisheshika Prabhu and his disciples like Shraddha Mataji. So I'm pretty neophyte, so just pardon my mistakes.
Thank you so much, Tejas Prabhu, Varshana Mataji, Suruchi Mataji. Usually we have more, but I think Sadhana Mataji, there's a lot of travel going on, right? Sadhana Mataji is traveling and Sutapa is traveling. Yeah, and a couple of more. So Prabhu, this is today, Sunday morning, we have the Bhagavad-gita translation, pronunciation class. It's not a Bhagavatam class. The Bhagavatam class happened yesterday, our time in the evening, but you're welcome to stay on. And if you feel comfortable, you can participate. Otherwise, you can just listen in. The choice is completely yours. Okay,
that's okay, Mataji. I will stay. I will still stay. Sorry, Mataji. I just wanted to see you, so I thought I'll join.
That's a good one. And we can talk later more if you want.
I will stay. I'll stay.
Okay. All right. Okay, so then on that good note, I will start sharing the screen. So we have been doing recitation, learning of various chapters of Bhagavad Gita, and we have completed chapter 12, right? And 15 also. Did we do 15 also, or we did 12 and then
yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. We finished 15.
15 also. Fantastic. This must be going on.
And then we started with the first one.
Right. So 15, 20 from 15 and 20 from 12. So 40 verses we have already done. And we do a verse a week. So this means that, it's been going on for more than a year now with all the breaks that I take. So now we are on the 20th verse. So this is the 60th verse that you all are going to do today. Fantastic. Good progress made.
Yeah.
Very nice, right? So we have been talking about the first chapter of Bhagavad-gita and pronunciation primarily, and there are some Sanskrit pronunciation guides, etc. also Tejas Prabhu that you can look at from my website, which is nityasankirtan.com, and on that there is a tab for Bhagavad-gita. And so if you go over here to Bhagavad-gita, as soon as the system allows me to show, here we go. So on the Bhagavad-gita, there are tab, and over here there is a link to the pronunciation guide. So Sanskrit pronunciation guide. So if you click on this, it will tell you how to read the transliterations. But I'm pretty sure, Prabhu, you have been associated with us for such a long time, so you already know that.
Yeah, I know Sanskrit quite a bit, Mataji.
You go.
I studied Sanskrit for almost 5 years, so I know quite a bit. But I think this will still help, actually.
Yeah, no, you're going to help us now. This is very, very good. Yeah. Yeah, because sometimes the ladies ask me questions, these Matajis, and I don't know answers to. So now I have somebody to turn to. Wow, that's very good. Yeah. I just read it for like 2 years in my life. Yeah, 2 or 3. Yeah. Okay, so this is very good, very, very good. So we'll get started then with a brief prayer to the spiritual master. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjan Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So from first chapter of Bhagavad-gita, where we first saw how Duryodhan was looking at the military formation, and he lists all the people who are there on Pandava's side, and then he also lists people on his side to say that, okay, fine, doesn't matter, I'm also a gift, which most of us do. We are in a material world and we think that, okay, I've got money, I've got, property, I've got this and that, and I can handle it, so I don't have to bother about, other things, but it doesn't happen that way. And then we saw the grand entry of Shri Krishna, right, in the 14th verse of the first chapter. And then after that, they blow the conch shells as part of the entry. And then after that, all others were also blowing their conch shells, right? And then we saw that all this blowing of the conch shells, it shattered the hearts of the Kauravas. And Prabhupada makes that statement over there, that when the Pandavas blew the conch shells, and it shattered the hearts of the Kauravas, but when the Kauravas blew the conch shells, right, Singhanadam Vinatyache, right, nothing happened on the Pandava side. So that's the strength of devotional service, right, that material things do not affect. And so that's the only refuge that we can take. And we had talked about that yesterday in yesterday's class also, when we were talking about what is karma, vikarma, and akarma. And we said that the best thing, and because of the intricacies of karma, where we don't know why this is happening to me, and things like that. So we said that the best thing to do is to take refuge of the Lord, right? And then nothing inauspicious is going to happen, because our definition of auspicious and inauspicious also changes as we go along the way. So then after all these conch shells have been blown, so Arjun is now trying to get started or get going, right? So he's doing the preparations, and it's very important for us also to do the preparations on our side, right? On how we handle this war. So this is Mahabharata that we are talking about, but honestly, I think everybody will agree with me. Raise your hands if you do, that we all fight our own Mahabharats every day.
Yes, every day.
There we go, yeah. So Arjuna is doing that, and so we can learn from this particular verse that, what do we arm ourselves with, right? So let's see what Arjuna is doing, and then the options on what we can do here, right? So atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam mahī-pate. So this is a longer verse, as you would have noticed, compared to what we have doing. There have been 4 lines all along into a shloka, but this is a bigger one. And you will see in the different renditions of the Bhagavad Gita that there's these lines kind of, that gets moved here and there. And I remember somebody saying, not from the ISKCON side, but somebody who had gifted me a Bhagavad-gita, because I'd gone to some website and found that there was a small mistake. So I wrote to them and said, there's a small mistake over here. They were very appreciative of the fact that somebody, told them that how to make the change. And as part of that, he said that, I'll gift you a Bhagavad-gita. So I went to their home and we got the Bhagavad-gita, and there we realized that his wife was a client, at the bank where my husband works. So it's always a small world. But anyway, so there he was talking about Prabhupada, and so he was just saying that, so Prabhupada just removed one verse from the Bhagavad Gita. And I was like, oh, how did he remove the verse? And then it came around that, by these movement of these lines from here and there, So you'll see different renditions of the Bhagavad Gita, 700 verses, it's 699. But as long as, and I can see that the reason why Prabhupada has combined them, he's setting the context for the next verse to be picked up. So that's why it's a longer verse here. So atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam mahī-pate. So let's now go and look at the synonyms. Atha, thereupon; vyavasthitān, situated; dṛṣṭvā, looking upon; dhārtarāṣṭrān, the sons of Dhritarashtra; kapi-dhvajaḥ, he whose flag was marked with Hanuman; pravṛtte, while about to engage; śastra-sampāte, in releasing his arrows; dhanur, bow; udyamya, taking up; pāṇḍavaḥ, the son of Pandu, which is Arjuna in this case; hṛṣīkeśaṁ, unto Lord Krishna; tadā, at that time; vākyam, words; idam, these; atha, said; mahī-pate, O king. Right, so this is Sanjay. He's talking to Dhritarashtra, and he's addressing Dhritarashtra as O king, mahī-pate, and which is the king, the pati of the earth. Mahi is the earth here. So atha, always we know that this is a connecting verse, right, with the connecting word with the previous verses where it was talking about all the conch shells, etc., that were blowing. And now he's saying, all right, so now vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā. So now Arjuna is trying to look at it, right? So at that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, was seated in the chariot, situated, bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra, drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Krishna these words. Purport: the battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above, it is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unexpected arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instructions of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is another sign of victory, because Hanuman cooperated with Lord Rama in the battle between Ram and Ravana, and Lord Rama emerged victorious. Now, both Ram and Hanuman were present on the chariot of Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Rama himself, and wherever Lord Rama is, eternal servitor Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the lords of the senses, Lord Krishna, was personally present to give him direction. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle. In such auspicious conditions arranged by the Lord for his eternal devotee lay the signs of assured victory. Right? So look at the beauty of the way how Prabhupada, connects things and explains and digs deeper into it, right? Otherwise, what would one say? We look at the chariot and we look at Hanuman, like, oh, fine, Hanuman is there. And then people might say, oh, but Hanuman was in Satyuga or Treta. What is he doing in Dwapara? So those kind of questions people might just ask. But how Prabhupada puts these things separately, differently, is that, he's just saying that both Ram and Hanuman are present there. So it kind of looks, it's a replica of that same story that happened in Treta. So anyway, so here we go into the verse itself, where we will break it up. So so Tejas Babu, in our class, we kind of go very, very slow, and because the class is still learning, and we break it down. So some of them might be like, some of all this might be very, very simple for you. And so we will go in the order of in which people join the class. So we have Varshana Mataji was there, and then we have Suruchi Mataji, she joined us here. And then we have Tejas Prabhu. That's fantastic. And we wish that you can join us more. So here we go. Tejas Prabhu, only if you want to read it.
Yes, Mataji, I will try.
Oh, you'll try. Okay. So we break this up into syllables here. So atha, vyavasthitān. So difference between tha and ta, right? dṛṣṭvā. So remember, this is a R with a dot. So it's re, pronounced as a re and not a ra or a r, right? So dṛṣṭvā. So this is a T with a dot. So there's a tha, there's a ta, and there's a ta. Right? And if you remember when we were doing 12 and 15, I had said that, let's go and do one, because one has got all the varieties of the of the letters from the alphabet. dhārtarāṣṭrān, kapi-dhvajaḥ, pravṛtte. So this is pra and vritte. So pravṛtte. Actually, I should have done this. My mistake. Sorry. It should be linked with this. That is the syllable. Pravṛtte. Right? So there's a double ta there. Shash. This is the difficult one, right? Śastra. Right? So sash. I'm not getting it right this morning. Śastra. But if you combine it, it'll come naturally to you. Sampāte. Dhanur, udyamya. So udyamya. So when it goes together, it'll be again easy, bringing it slightly difficult. Pāṇ. So there's an ana there. pāṇḍavaḥ. Vaha. There's a H there, right? She. So I with a bar. So she, right? So you see, those who understand the script here, śastra-sampāte. Tadā, vākyam. So vākyam, actually kyam, that's a syllable. Vākyam, idam, atha. So there's a difference between this A and this A. So more emphasis here. Atha, mahī-pate. Okay. So atha, vyavasthitān, dṛṣṭvā, dhārtarāṣṭrān, kapi-dhvajaḥ, pravṛtte, śastra-sampāte, dhanur, udyamya, pāṇḍavaḥ, hṛṣīkeśaṁ, tadā vākyam, idam, aha, mahī-pate. Okay, so are we ready, Vaishana Mataji, to give it a try?
Ji, Mother. Yes, Mother.
All right, let's go.
Atha, vyavasthitān, dṛṣṭvā, dhārtarāṣṭrān, kapi-dhvajaḥ, pravṛtte, sorry, Mother. Pravṛtte, śastra-sampāte, dhanur, udyamya, pāṇḍavaḥ, hṛṣīkeśaṁ, tadā vākyam, idam, aha, mahī-pate.
Okay, very good. Suchi Mataji.
Atha, vyavasthitān, dṛṣṭvā, dhārtarāṣṭrān, kapi-dhvajaḥ, pravṛtte, śastra-sampāte, dhanur, udyamya, pāṇḍavaḥ, hṛṣīkeśaṁ, tadā vākyam, idam, aha, mahī-pate.
mahī-pate, right? So when you're doing this aha, right? So give a little bit more emphasis on this compared to this one, right? Don't have them at the same level, right? And this is a little difficult, hṛṣīkeśaṁ. So that's fine. All right. Tejas Prabhu, do you want to go for it?
Yeah, okay. Atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
mahī-pate. Yeah, we'll let you go do the full ones. Yeah, well, because you already said.
I thought if I could read, I just could read that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So you don't bother. You can go the full length, but the class will go at a slower pace for the others.
No problem. I think you're broken this in syllables. It's very an excellent idea, Mataji. I think it's actually, and then the very good advantage of, even though I can read Sanskrit very well, many of the purports don't have the Sanskrit text. So it becomes very important that we learn this also.
Good. Yeah, thank you. Okay, Varshana Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān.
Twa. Like tweak. I use a tweak. Yeah. Not tawa, right? So there's a difference between twa and tawa. Twa. Yeah. Okay.
Twa. dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
Right. Yeah. I think I don't have this. Yeah. Udyam. Yeah, that's how we are going, right? Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Very good, Mataji. Let's go to
vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
Right. Aha mahī-pate. Right. So this A and this A are different. Right. Just try this one more time. This one.
Idam aha mahī-pate.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So just remember A with the bar. All right. So Tejas Prabhu.
So I will read the transliteration this time. Okay, Mataji?
Okay.
Atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
So now, how do you feel? How did you feel between this and this? Breaking it up into syllables.
So I'm significantly slower if I read the transliteration. So this is definitely going to help me. Okay, and I think this is really good that you have divided this into the syllables. I just had one question here, Mataji, that why did you put a dash between P and Dva and He and Pa?
Which one we are seeing?
So in the second line, kapi-dhvajaḥ. So there is a dash between.
The dash is because from here, kapi-dhvajaḥ. Right? So
I see. That's a samas. That's a samas here. So you just kept the dash there. I see.
Kept the dash there. Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. And the idea also is that whenever there is a dash, the two words are, when they combine them, they have to remember that although this is kapi-dhvajaḥ, right? Normally I would have done between the two, I would have just put a simple space like that, right? In between these two, there are double spaces. That double space to say that, okay, kapi, so that the class remembers that when they are pronouncing it, then it will go together. Kapi-dhvajaḥ, like that. Yeah, so you will find, but I'm glad that you're noticing these things. And then kapi-dhvajaḥ is also, you also put the dash here because kapi is qualifying dhvaja, right?
Yes, Mataji. So just if I tell you a little bit on the grammar, Mataji, I think this is a samas, and to distinguish between sandhi and samas, I think the Prabhupada's disciples have put a dash there. That this is a samas here, and then you are keeping it there. So sorry, Mataji, I didn't notice it.
No.
Thank you for explaining.
Right. I try my best not to change things Prabhupada has put, right? As it is. That's why it will stay as it is, like that.
Yes, Thank you so much. This is very helpful.
Good. But I'm glad that you brought this word. I don't know after how many years I heard the word samas. But very nice. Yeah, very nice. It's good to have you here. You should come more often. Okay, and I see that Aruni Mataji also joined us. Aruni Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I almost missed this as well.
No problem. Yeah.
Atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam atha mahī-pate.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now let's go. I'm watching at the clock here. Give us the full now, starting with Varshana Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte. Mataji, just bring it up a little. Pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
Mahī-pate. All right. Okay. And you would have noticed that while you're pronouncing, we bring, and I always say that we bring so much things from our sanskaras. Sanskaras basically means that whichever way we have learned the language or whatever is our normal language, right? Like somebody from South might be habitual of pronouncing certain things in a certain way, and then we carry over that when we are pronouncing these verses in the full form. But when you break it down, then you realize that, oh, right, dhārtara. I was always saying dhārtara, but this is not dhārtara. This is dhārta and rash. It's not tra, it is tara, like that, So breaking it down. So always I say that, even when you are doing the full, pronouncing the full, practice by looking at this, because this will make you get the letters exactly right. Prabhupada has done such a fantastic job of transliterating, and just, because it's become very difficult to say, how do I pronounce this really big word? Yeah, vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā, but here he has, breaking it down so nicely. Okay, good. Suruchi.
आप कर लो बात में
atha
कोई बात नहीं
vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra.
Okay, yeah. Let's do this one more time, right? So just talk of them independently, right? Don't think about the next word or syllable while you are focusing on this one, right? So go, but just smoothly. I'm just picking up syllables and I'm just reciting them, right?
Okay.
So
pravṛtte.
There you go, right? Yeah.
śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
Mahī-pate. All right, very good. Tejas-prabhu.
Yeah. Atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
Very nice. Ani Mataji?
atha vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā dhārtarāṣṭrān kapi-dhvajaḥ pravṛtte śastra-sampāte dhanur udyamya pāṇḍavaḥ hṛṣīkeśaṁ tadā vākyam idam aha mahī-pate.
Very nice. Okay. So good. That brings us to the top of the hour today. And thank you so much, dear devotees. Yeah, you have a question, Rachana Mataji?
Yes, yes, Mataji. Mataji, that means in Bhagavad-gita as it is, in this, now that this shloka is of 6 lines, and shloka is also of 6 lines. So that means one shloka will be out, means we have total 700. So it will be -1 because it is not -1, but if we count this one 1 and this one 1, that means 1 will be less, Mataji?
There is no less or there is no more. It is just the way that you're grouping the lines together and putting some numbers, right? So we just go by the numbering that Prabhupada has given. This is verse number 20. And so here, all these are here, right? So normally there are 2 lines, right? No, or most of them are 2 lines, but this one is 3. And you will see more of that coming further also. So it's not that he has removed lines, etc.
Yes.
Right? It's just that how he is juxtaposing them. And so don't worry about that. And there's something very interesting, Radhika Raman Prabhu, and you heard his lectures, right? So he says something very interesting that, when we talk about Srimad Bhagavatam, and he looks at it very purely from the academic purposes. I mean, he's a devotee, but, in that lecture, he was looking at it from the Sanskrit perspective. And he says that, and I don't know, Teja Prabhu, if you had a chance to attend his lectures or not, but
I did not, Mataji.
Oh, his lecture on Sanskrit was amazing. Yeah, I'll look up and see. Like if you go to our Silicon Valley website and look at the old recordings, his name is Radhika Raman. He's based in Utah. Amazing devotee of the Lord. His mother actually homeschooled him on Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, and then he went and did his research in Oxford on the Tattva Sandarbha. And I think when he was 21 or 24, something like that, very young age. Yeah. Now he's the head of Department of Science of Religion in Utah.
Yeah, I'll definitely look him up.
Yeah, look him up. You'll enjoy it. Yeah. So one of the things that he kind of says that how and the verse that we are, or the concept that we are reading in the 4th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, which is about evam parampara praptam, right? So how the information flows from one to the other and has to maintain itself. And so he talks about how things can get changed depending on of course, time, and also depending on time, place, and circumstance, as Prabhupada says, right? So depending also on the place. For example, he says that how Vyasdeva is born, right? So when we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, how Prabhupada put it is, or wherever Prabhupada talks about it, he says that Parashar Muni had not married Satyavati, right? She was not married, but Vyasdeva was born. So this concept that such a great saint could be born from such a unsort of, quote unquote, unsaintly union, this is not palatable to people in some other parts of India. It's okay for north, but for the south, it is difficult because they are by nature, they are more following the dharma and things like that. So it says that story gets changed over there. When people are presenting, they say that, well, he finally married her, things like that. So these kind of changes will be there in the particular verse. So what he was saying was that while these things are being narrated and go down the line, things do get modified, and who knows? I mean, he says that we say Bhagavatam has got 18,000 verses. He said, well, you can go and count them. If we want to. And to be honest, 10 years ago when the Bhagavatam came, I brought out my spreadsheet and I said, okay, for every canto that I start, I'll start putting down how many verses are there. I can quickly calculate whether there are 18,000 or not. And believe me, I could not do that because, I got diverted. I got so somewhere down the line. I mean, if you want to do that academically, Varshana Mataji, that's fine. But there's no extra word. There's no sloka that got hidden and things like that, right? So the reason I brought this up, or chopped off.
Yes, Mataji. I noticed here, this one is 20 number and next one is 21.
Right.
22. So Srila Prabhupada has made it 3 already here.
So he takes it. The idea was that he's trying to put the relevant conversation or the relevant narrative together. So he's saying that, because Arjuna wanted to look at, whatever is going around and he wanted to get engaged, right? Dhanur, udyamya, pāṇḍavaḥ. So now he's picking up his bow and arrow and then he's asking that question. So I think it's a logical way to putting the verses together.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for clarifying this. Very nice, Mataji.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mataji, I noticed one thing today. It's dhārtarāṣṭrān and dhṛṣṭvā. How much difference?
Well, here, interesting thing. And so Dhritarashtra is his name, right? Yes. His name is King Dhritarashtra. And you see how Prabhupada explains, very good observation, how Prabhupada also explains that right here. So dhārtarāṣṭrān is sons of Dhritarashtra. So this is how Sanskrit goes, right? Tejas Prabhu, what will we call your sons, right? In Sanskrit?
I don't know, Mataji. Tejas Sutam, I guess. I don't know.
No, by following this logic, right? So like Dhritarashtra became Dhārtarāṣṭra, right?
So Mataji, that applies only for specific words. I forgot the rules, but you cannot apply every word. Like for example, Yashoda, right? So you cannot have that transformation applied to Yashoda to pronounce. You said say Yashoda Nandani or Yashoda Sutam. You have to do the samas at that point.
Right. And then Saubhadro, right? We read that Saubhadro Mahabahu, like Subhadra's son, which is Abhimanyu. So Sanskrit is very complicated, and that's why when we started this class, we were like, I'm not an expert on Sanskrit grammar by no means. I learned the Sanskrit from Prabhupada's verses only, and our purposes here was just to get a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more fluent in how we recite Srila Prabhupada's verses. Because the moment you get the fluency there, then the rasa also increases, because, right, that's how Sanskrit is. Dhārtarāṣṭrān.
The grammar is very complicated, but it's also very systematic. So if you actually learn it, you won't have that many exceptions like English. So it's actually easily learnable. It's just that it's a lot of rules, that's all.
Right. And English is full of exceptions. It's very confusing for a child.
What is samas? Is that hyphen?
Yes, samas is the hyphen. When I think there are dvand samas. Prabhu, I'm just trying to remember like what I learned 40, 50 years ago. So there will be 2 words that will be put together. Sometimes they complement each other and sometimes they're opposite, right? Like Ram Krishna is complementing each other because they're talking about the same thing. And khatta mita is like, they're opposite. One is khatta, one is mita, like that. And so 2 words put together also. In this case, it is kapi-dhvajaḥ. So kapi is monkey, which is Hanuman, and dhvaja is on the flag, like that. So samas is Prabhu, please tell more. I'm here.
I forgot the rules of samas, but basically samas is when you connect the 2 words without the transformation, right? It's kapi and dhvaja by itself are different words, right? If you look at vyavasthitān dṛṣṭvā, it's not a samas because vyavasthitaha and dṛṣṭvā, they are 2 different words and they are combined with the na in between. There are some sandhi rules. There are lots of rules. I don't remember, but like if you look at the śastra-sampāte, śastra and sampāte are 2 different words. But when you look at the vākyam, idam, atha, it's a sandhi because vākyam, idam, atha, and you don't see them separately. The vākyam and idam are combined, and idam and are combined to idam aha. So that's a sandhi. Samas is like 2 different words, but when there are 2 different words, the way you interpret it can be multiple meanings actually. In this particular case, kapi-dhvajaḥ is a simple meaning. Okay, kapi jiske dhvaj pe hai, something like that. It's like that I think there are 7 or 8 different samas how you translate these words, and sometimes same combination can translate into multiple meanings actually. But I don't remember. I just remember a few things here and there, Mataji. That's all.
Thank you, Prabhu. You remember samas. I had forgotten all about it. So And
What
those
is
of you who have
sandhi?
come from, sorry?
What is sandhi? So when you say two words, that's sandhi.
Yeah, well, sandhi is, actually sandhi is, let me give you an example. And we have talked about sandhi. Sandhi is that, when you combine two words, right? And the last letter of the first word and the first letter of the last word will combine together. So there is a transformation that happens, right? And that is why this A bar and all that we see. I'm just trying to see whether this was a little bit difficult example to talk about vākyam, idam, atha. Here, where is this?
In this thing,
this one,
if you look at vyavasthitān, dṛṣṭvā, there are two different words, but when they combine, you see them together basically. So
I'm just trying to get a simpler meaning, a simpler example for her, right? Because what is happening is that, here idam and aha, it is already like a heavy A here, right? Let's just look at the verse.
I get it. We've done it in many verses where
many verses, yeah.
The two A's from one word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That is sandhi. Or not.
If you look at dhanur, udyamya is a sandhi. Dhanur is a word, udyamya is a word, and they combined it. So you just actually you see dhanur, you see together. It's not dhanur and udyamya. It's like they combine the last ra and first u into a different, into the re itself, basically.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see, where it's a very different translation where, the ta becomes a na. That's a very strong example of a sandhi, right?
Yeah,
Utsanna kul dharmana, and
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah. Do you remember that example? It's not coming to my mind right now. But this is full of it. Let's just look at some verses. There's some things here really quickly. We will see that. And chapter number 1 is full of these. So.
And sometimes it becomes a syllable this word that we don't even speak. Actually, it becomes
the S.
Big S.
Yeah, the S. Yeah, which we don't. Yeah. We had that S in the previous verse, I think. I remember talking about that, but let's...
So, Mataji, technically speaking, this pāṇḍavaḥ Shaiva, this also a sandhi with a transformation.
Yes. This one, yes. This is the example of...
So it's a pāṇḍavaḥ, cha, eva. They have combined 3 words here.
Exactly. And let me bring up the synonyms and then we will be able to see that. Pāṇḍavas Chaiva, and then this is the beauty. And then as you go into it, then you understand the beauty of how Prabhupada has documented everything for us. Like Pāṇḍavaḥ, Cha, and Eva. So this A and E, right, becomes I. So Chaiva, right? Chaiva, like that over here. Yeah. Nice. Very nice. Very nice.
Also when you read it, you say Kima Kurvata Sanjaya.
Yes.
So that's also a sandhi, right? Kima Kurvata Sanjaya.
Yes. And yes. And because sometimes people, I remember when we first started, this was the first word, right? When we were saying Kim Kurvat, when we were reading this, we were saying Kim Kurvat. Remember, Varshana Mataji, Kim Kurvat.
Yes.
I said, no, it is Kim Akurvat because it is the past tense, right? Kya bola, it is in the past. Akurvat Sanjaya. And then this ma, the Kim is actually, you see that this is simple M over here. This is not M with a A. So it is not Kima. It's Kim. So there's a halant, it's sort of a halant there. So this was, ma with a halant at the bottom and then Akurvat. So then this becomes a full M. It takes the A from the Akurvat like that. So yeah, you can relish these verses, go deep down, and each word in this Bhagavad-gita is amazing. Yeah.
So technically speaking, even Sanjay is also a sandhi, but that's okay.
Yes.
Since it's a simple name, it's a full name, they don't cut it actually. Otherwise, it is also Sat Jai, and then it becomes Sanjay.
Thank you for that example. This is exactly what I was looking for, this example, right? Mm-hmm. And let's go and put that here. Right? So yes. Sat and Jaya. And then so this T, it becomes, when it gets combined. So there are some rules of vowels, consonants and all that. So this
ja is Mataji cha, cha, ja, za, ya. That is the last 5th nasal syllable. That final T assumes that form, and that rule comes into picture. So T becomes the fifth column, the nasal column of that particular line.
Right. Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing rules. Prabhu, you should come and give us some classes.
No,
On this.
Mataji,
Yeah.
I don't know much actually.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. It'd be good to
Yeah,
have
but you should come and tell us. This is very interesting. And once in a while, we can, maybe once a month, you can come and tell us that, because this will be interesting, and it'll actually make it easy for the class also,
I can come, Mataji, but my knowledge is बहुत घिसा पिटा. That's the
जाओ
reason.
उसको पॉलिश करो. पढ़ा हुआ है, अब इसे वापस लेके आओ. प्रभुपाद ने होमवर्क दिया. Yeah, very nice. Yeah. Okay, so on that happy note, should we call it a day today? Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Manchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindhubhyeva patitanam pavenyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha goprimanande hari hari bol. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Okay, hari bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Bol.